it's a three-legger. It's a three-legger. She gonna scrape? She gonna scrape? Oh, she did. That's kind of a big deal. This is her first out of habitat scrape. I knew she was going to do it because I could see how she was figuring out her foot position. These are puppy milestones. Hey, welcome. Just starting the live stream here. And what we got here is Sunny and Moonie. These are our subadult females, but we're starting to see grown-up behavior happening, which you're just catching. I guess you bounced. Boy, people are so fickle. They jump in, they jump out. You'd think that seeing two wolves on a patrol would be pretty exciting. Hey there, welcome. We're just waiting to find some audience here, but I'm Oliver the Wolf Guy, and we've got Sunny and Moonie out here, and they are engaging in some pretty new behavior for them. These are subadult females. They're both not quite two. So they're starting to be grown up in their mindset, but they still figuring out how to be grown-ups. And so what we're just seeing here was some scent marking behavior, which is kind of new to them. So we're just heading out here. We just left our property a second ago, and you can actually hear the other wolves that are in the habitat. They're a little upset that we left them. Really? You're going to scent roll on a bunch of stuff here? All right, well, it can't be any worse than what's already on your neck. She rolled and pooped the other day, so she's already kind of gross. And there's a little bit of soap on her fur there, so when she rolls in the snow, hopefully it'll refresh her. They're usually self-cleaning, but it takes a day or two. And that is definitely one of the downsides of working with these animals, is that they like to try on the stinkiest stuff they can find, and when they do, they want to share it with you. So, welcome everybody. I am Oliver the Wolf Guy. I am the founder and executive director of the Tahoe Wolf Center. We are a 501c3 that, come on Moonie, don't roll in fresh poop. That would be worse. Come on, roll in the snow. Do something I like. We're out here today with two of our animals, two of our ambassador wolves. We got Sunny, Sickenik, or Sun here, and Takik, or Moon, here. And these are two of our subadult females that are in our project. And they are educational ambassadors that help us teach people why wolves are such interesting, dynamic, socially interesting, and ecologically critical animals. And the reason you're looking at them and not me is, number one, they're way prettier than me, even the fuzzy butts part. But secondly, I'm using a very bright headlamp. And so when I turn the camera on myself, what you get is a lot of glare. Oh gosh, I don't want to go down there in the hole. They always want to go in the worst spots, like dragging me into a pit. Hey, Sunny, and you would be amazed how strong they are. These animals each weigh about a little less than 100 pounds, or probably like 92 pounds a piece. But to compare them to the experience of a 92-pound domestic dog is, unless it's an incredibly powerful dog, you'll deal with a surprising amount of strength. Their quickness and their ability to recruit a lot of muscle tissue very abruptly is really very different than even like your powerful breeds of dogs. Like, I've had a lot of Malamutes, and pound for pound, these guys tend to be way more difficult to manage than Alaskan Malamutes. So this is Sunny, or Sickenik is her actual name. It means sun in Inuktitut. And then the dark one here is Moonie. Takik is the actual name. We call her Moonie Badger the angry weasel. She's kind of a temperamental animal. She's super sweet and shy to me. And then she's got this sort of angry weasel side to other animals. Sunny is more happy-go-lucky. But Sunny is a super weird kisser. Like, almost all my animals want to get up in my face and lick my teeth and kiss me. But Sunny wants to put my whole face in her mouth. And if I didn't trust her implicitly, I'm really putting myself in a vulnerable position, because they could actually take your jaw right off your face if they wanted. But she just wants to sort of wrap her teeth on either side of my face and just sort of hold me there. And it's a very strange feeling. And it's totally unique to her. In all the years, I've been working with the species for 40 years. And in all that time, she's the only animal I've had that had sort of these weird kissing habits. So we are out here doing what we do almost every night. I alternate the animals a little bit. We're out on what I call a patrol, which some people would call a dog walk, but wolves patrol their territory. And we're just crossing a very small road here near my property to get into some more national forest. We live on national forest, but there's a road that bisects the land by my home that we're crossing over right now. Come on, let's go. And once we get here, we're in a bigger stand of woods, and we'll let them patrol their habitat a little bit. They have a large natural habitat. We all our animals are housed in what would be an AZA caliber, which means American Zoological Association, and they have very stringent requirements for biological appropriateness for habitat, and ours more than exceeds it. Basically, their habitat looks just like this, only there's a pond and a fence, and so they're secure and safe on the inside and are well maintained and contained. Obviously, you don't want to have animals like this get loose. It would make you very unpopular in your community. We don't want that. We are actually very well known and liked in our community, but that can disappear with one mistake. And so we have a incredibly detailed vigilance protocol for everything we do. Every single thing, from the how we leash up, the equipment that we use. You can see it's pretty serious equipment around their necks. Habitat maintenance, habitat monitoring, cameras, all of those things. I'll give you a profile for a sec. I know it's terrible that I'm in the dark and I got to have a headlamp. I am Oliver, the wolf guy. I'm the founder and executive director of the Tahoe Wolf Center. We are a 501c3 that teaches people about wolves. We're a tiny nonprofit. But this has been my passion. I come from a ranching family in Colorado, and I fell in love with wolves when I was 4 years old, and I have been obsessed and involved with the species pretty much continuously, including essentially hands-on for the last 40 years. I've undertaken quite a lot of study, both of the dynamics of the captive animals I work with, but also traveled around the world to observe other captive wolves as well as wild wolves. I'm certainly an accomplished tracker of wild wolves. I get a lot of experience because I know what wolves want to do when they're out. And I routinely take my animals out. Let's see, where is this? Hey, Wild Adventure, Wolfman 2000, welcome you guys. Started liking wolves when you were in middle school, yeah. We have 5 ambassador animals right now. Yes, we live with them. My home is inside our habitat, which is very challenging at times because it means that if I'm not on my A game, I have somebody in the house who I don't want in the house, or something gets stolen from the house that I don't want to lose. And if I have something valuable that I'm trying to get from the vehicle to the front door, that can be pretty challenging at times. And I have lost like entire bags of groceries if I've been a little bit cavalier in my approach. Let's see, what other questions here? It's a little hard to read this while I'm out here. Welcome, you guys. So thank you all for tuning in this evening. I am Oliver the Wolf Guy. Hey, I know the light is awful. I apologize for that, but I'm hoping you're out here to see animals and not a grumpy looking old white mountain man with a big gray beard, which is me. I know, I look exactly how you'd expect. Camo, great big boots, giant hands of big gloves, big pack, and a gray beard. My wife says I look like a grumpy old man. Well, it's because I am, kind of, I guess. And we're getting dragged around a bit here. So I'm really outmatched by 2 animals, right? So each of these guys weighs about 92 pounds. So that means they're 185 pounds of just incredible strength and pulling force. And so they're attached to me with a belt that I've custom made. I've got like 40 years into refining this belt system so that I never lose control of an animal. I've walked I don't know, maybe I'm flattering myself, but I think it's likely no person has spent as much time out of habitat attached to wolves as me. I know for a fact I've logged over 25,000 miles walking these guys. I track everything. And in all that time, I've never had an animal get loose during a hike, a patrol, even overnight work that we've done in deep wilderness. When we're pinned down or stopped, like to camp, I switch from a rope to a cable. I carry cables in my pack. So if, for example, I had an injury and I needed to have somebody come get me, I could cable them to a tree because they can go through this rope in just a few seconds. And so while I'm out here, one of the things I really enjoy doing is answering your questions. So I'm showcasing. Do we rehabilitate and release? No. I am unaware of any facility in the country that actually can rehabilitate and release a wolf. It'd be very complex. We're primarily education, science, and advocacy. I've had decades of rescue under my belt for captive-born wolf dogs and animals that are being displaced. Our current location, we have limits on the number of animals we can house, and our program is really educational in focus, not rescue. However, if you look at my channel, there's an animal that suddenly everyone's calling Moon because she's very funny. And which is hilarious since I call her Moon and she's very serious, but there's a Moon meme. And he's a rescue. We rescued him this spring. Big exception to our normal rules, but his background and his circumstances were really exceptional, and we just, it almost cost me my marriage. My wife was not happy about what I was undertaking to get him to safety, but now she's glad that she put up with it. I'm hard to put up with, by the way. For those of you that are, every once in a while people get the idea that this life is romantic or that I'd be a fun partner. let me put that to bed for you right away. I'm not. My wife will tell you I'm a very curmudgeonly, animal-oriented, like I could live off the grid by myself for kind of forever. I'm not one of those guys that's good if you're needy. I'm just fully happy to be out in the woods in the dark with animals. And my wife is putting up with it, but she loves the animals too, like crazy, right? You can't do this without loving the animals. But she says I'm hard to take. If you knew me, you'd know why. As I'm super focused on pretty much one thing, and this is it. See here, I'm just trying to catch up on the questions here. Rescue domesticated wolves. Yep, Canis familiaris. They're 99.7% identical. Even more if it's a Malamute, because Alaskan Malamutes have recent gray wolf ancestry. So for those of you that enjoy the content, please subscribe. We're going to do some super fun and funny stuff here in the near future. I recently sort of discovered some small amount of virality on here in TikTok, and it made me think about some really fun things I can do with the animals that are a little bit like Mr. Beast. And so I got some big funny plans. You might want to subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you are inclined to support the work even more, I have a book out called The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs. So this is scent marking behavior you've seen in your dogs, but it takes wolves about 2 years to grow up to where they're confident to do it. Moonie just began doing that about 2 months ago. And Sunny today was actually the first time that Sunny scraped and marked out of the habitat because she's finally confident enough to do it. Which is funny because Sunny's actually a little bigger than Moonie, but Moonie is intellectually a little more developed. But if you want to support our work, my book, the proceeds of the book go to the nonprofit. It's called The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs. And it takes my 40 years of wolf experience and translates that into things that you can do to make your dog love you more and give it a better life. It's on Amazon. I'll say the name again, The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs. Trying to catch up here. Thank you, Wild Adventurer 10. So there's a bunch of things you can do to connect with us. Obviously, subscribe here, buy the book. I have an online shop, oliverthewolfguy.com, where I have some fun merch and more is coming. And then our nonprofit website is tahowolfcenter.org, just fully spelled out. And there's some options to support us there. All this is kind of fresh. My focus is really animals, habitat, educate. But suddenly this happened, and so I've been investing more time in trying to get all those things sorted out. By the way, for those of you watching, if by any stroke of luck, any of you guys are experts on Shopify and YouTube, I could use some help. If that's the case, leave a note in the comments. I really do follow on these comments here. Leave a note in the comments, and I will connect with you. I need some paid consulting help to get. I've been stuck in this loop with Google and YouTube it's just a nightmare, and I don't know how to fix it. And I'm sure it's something stupid that I don't know, but if there's an expert out there, or if any of you guys want to refer an expert, and you could also, the other way to connect with me really directly, I'm a little shy about putting my direct email address out into the world, but I am at Oliver the Wolf Guy on TikTok, and that allows direct messaging. I don't know why YouTube doesn't allow direct messaging in the platform. It's really frustrating. But if you want to message me at Oliver the Wolf Guy, or you can find my contact information on my website too, which is tahowolfcenter.org or oliverthewolfguy.com. And if you have that expertise or want to refer somebody, I would be super stoked. I've been going around in circles for like 3 weeks, pulling my hair out. So let's see here. Let me try to read some of this. That is right. Cutting some kind of meat. Were you guys eating? Oh God, no, we would, no, so you probably saw one of our live streams of how we make food for the animals. We feed them principally a raw diet that we've developed over 40 years. In fact, many facilities with wolves now follow some version of my diet. And if you've ever, as a dog owner, heard the phrase prey model diet, I was the guy who created that concept. But unfortunately, most people don't understand what that really means. I mean, basically it's based, let's not do that, really. Somebody thinks the poop fairy is going to pick up their poop bag, and instead I got animals tearing up the bag. Hopefully they don't roll in it. It's not my favorite. All right, come on, let's keep moving. Yeah, here we go. Come on. Come on. I'm just going to drag him away from it. Thank you. There we go. Lost my train of thought there for a second. Oh, about the food. Yes, so well, I mean, that was a bag of dog poop. Luckily, they don't roll in their own poop, right? I mean, their favorite is if like somebody takes a crap on the side of the trail, which is absolutely the most disgusting thing ever. And I try very hard to not let that happen. But I mean, they'll also roll in something that's dead and terrible smelly. Hey, everybody, thank you for joining. I see there's a bunch of new people tuning in right now. I am Oliver the Wolf Guy. Hey, I know it's terrible, my headlamp. The animals are why you're probably here. I'm the executive director of the Tahoe Wolf Center. We are a 501c3 that teaches people about why wolves and predators in general are amazing and essential. And we're out on one of our typical evening patrols. We do this pretty much every night, regardless of the weather. I take a couple animals out. This evening we've got Takik or Moonie here, the dark animal, and Sickenik or Sunny. And you guys are seeing something special because Sunny just started lifting a leg to pee out of the habitat to mark territory, which is a indication of sexual and intellectual maturity. These are both subadult animals, meaning they're not quite 2 yet. But in the last few weeks, they've really started to think and act more like grown-ups, which is interesting, but also a little bit sad. I don't know what she's rolling in here. Moonie is really liking to try on stink. She already has stink all over her because she rolled in something gross the other day. You can see her brown neck. It's just the nature of the beast with the beast. So do I train wolves? So I am a professional animal handler and canine behavior expert, I guess. I've got 40 years of working with the species successfully. Wolves will learn just about anything faster than you can imagine, but they don't perform on command really at all. Occasionally, you'll have an animal that is pretty food motivated and will do something for food. But for the most part, my philosophy, and I talk a lot about this in my book, is that these are my teammates. They're not my inmates. That means that we work together. I do not believe in alpha dominance theory in wildlife biology or animal training or executive management or playground rivalries. In fact, I'm currently working on a TED Talk to set to rest the myth of the alpha wolf and how that toxic concept has permeated society to the detriment of animals and all of us. Thank you for encouraging the likes. I do appreciate that. And of course, if you're feeling spontaneous, I am set up where you can give me supers, which I guess are like instant donations to the channel. Always appreciate the support. It costs us $15 per day in actual food costs. And getting back to the question about the meat now, so we feed them a diet that it consists of a lot of organic grass-fed beef. And then it also includes, we feed them some whole chicken. They also get rabbit, salmon, sardines. Occasionally we'll get a goat from a local farmer if they're going to butcher a goat after it's not useful, and we'll buy that. And then we also have permits to collect roadkill, which is their favorite thing of all. Up here, it's mostly deer. I wish we had elk in the area, but we don't. And so we feed them that. And the activity you're wondering about, cutting up meat, is how we prep and make. So we go through it's about 3 pounds an animal a day. So that's 18 pounds a day times 30 days. So it's like almost 400 pounds of meat and other ingredients a month that we go through to prep and feed the animals. That's their primary diet. And there's live streams that are saved on the channel where you can see the whole process, what we do, how we do it, from start to finish, ingredients included. And that recipe, by the way, is perfectly appropriate for your dog. I promise you, you switch them to that or some version of it, and your dog will have better, smaller poops, and it'll live a longer, healthier life. It will have fewer issues like cancer, skin disease, other assorted problems. Dogs are not meant to eat boiled, cooked to death, chemically treated kibble. Their teeth aren't even designed to chew kibble. Their teeth are designed to shear meat. And by the way, I will, if you reach out to me through either of my websites or on TikTok at Oliver the Wolf Guy, I will consult for you on setting up a raw diet for your dog. And again, I've got 40 years into that particular activity, and I can help you tune a diet just for your dog, even if there's certain sensitivities. So I do not consider myself a dog trainer per se. I think that my connection is much deeper than training. It's understanding behavior and helping people understand what's happening in any particular situation and perhaps modify their approach and the environment so that the dog and the person have a better life together, whatever that might be. Let me take a quick peek here. If other wolves charged at me, would they protect me? Battery dying, wild adventure. You get StreamYard going. I'm on Discord. I'd have to look at StreamYard. Wild Adventure 10, shoot me a direct message on TikTok if you could, at Oliver the Wolf Guy. Maybe we can connect there and talk more about that. So let's see here. So first of all, other wolves would never charge me. Wolves are really afraid of unfamiliar people. And so the last thing that they would do is charge a confident man in the woods, especially one with other wolves. Like, it would just never, ever happen. But would they? So they might fight with the other wolves, but it wouldn't necessarily be to defend me so much as it would be to defend their territory and their territorial. So like, I mean, to them, if I'm out on a hike, right, and somebody's off-leash dogs come running at us, that would be sort of the closest analog. And of course, off-leash dogs aren't really afraid of people typically. And that is conflict, 100% conflict. They will see those dogs coming and they will consider those dogs a threat and invading their territory. And conflict would very likely occur. I do everything I can to avoid it. It's one of the reasons I'm out here at night, is that unfortunately, I live near a resort town, and so a lot of people come up here, and the locals, honestly, and they just think that they don't, there's a leash law here, but they don't care. They think, oh, I'm in the woods, I can let my dog do whatever, which means their dogs are loose, and they're chasing wildlife and running up on people who don't want it. And, in my case, what I get is, dogs see me or these other dogs, and they're curious, I guess. They come charge towards me, and the people are yelling, "Don't worry, he's friendly." and I'm like, really? Okay, well, what if my guys aren't? And these are my juvenile females, so they're a little less prickly, but like my mature female or my mature male who weighs 150 pounds, who is super hyper territorial, like, you got to get your dog before they get to me. I mean, I'll hold my animals back, but there's only so much you can do when somebody's dog is loose. I strive. I want to emphasize, I have never had a conflict occur, but I take great effort to avoid it. Including, like I said, avoiding any places that are popular, hiking at night. Usually hiking off the beaten path. It's just straight up avoidance all the time. When I see people, I try my best to move in another direction. If their dogs are loose, I call out to them and say that I've got reactive animals and could they please get their dog. And I carry a GoPro. And the minute that I see loose dogs, I turn on the GoPro. And by the way, if you have a reactive dog and there's any possibility of conflict, I recommend you do the same thing. Because nothing protects you like documentary evidence that you were following the rules and somebody else was not. Because, what'll immediately happen is if I had an incident, they'd say, oh, this guy's wolves attacked my dog. And if it weren't for the fact that I'll be able to show that my animals were on a leash, I was following the rules, I did everything I could, and that they had no control of their animal, that's my protection. It's cheap to have a GoPro on your pack. Hey, for those of you that might have just tuned in and have no idea what you're watching, I'll give you a quick side shot here. I am Oliver the Wolf Guy. I am the founder and executive director of the Tahoe Wolf Center. You're watching a guy who's spent the last 40 years of his life pretty much living and working with wolves and wolf dogs. And my nonprofit is devoted to educating people about how interesting and important these animals are to a healthy environment. Tonight I'm out here with Sikanik, the light animal, whose name means sun, and Takik, who's right here, whose name means moon. And if you listen when I stop talking, you can hear the other animals in our habitat calling them home. So if you have questions, and welcome. Hey, Titus. If I run, would they run too? Yeah. Well, I mean, I spend a lot of time in the habitat, and they hang out with me whenever I'm out in their habitat when they're unleashed. I have a couple animals that, if I go deep enough into the wilderness where there's no risk of seeing other dogs or unfamiliar people, I can actually let them go and they'll stay with me. I have one animal that would probably hunt with me, but there's just not enough places that are remote enough where I could do that without too much risk. And again, there's the consequences for my mistake is existential for my nonprofit and my animals, because so few people take their animals out like I do. And, you get to do those things when you do them perfectly. And so my focus is safety and security of my animals and super positive PR for the species. And the best way to do that is not to get in trouble. And so we're really buttoned up. I mean, our entire habitat is covered with cameras. I walk that perimeter and touch every fence panel myself every night. My wife and I have been married for almost 24 years. We have never been on an airplane together because we're the only two people that we trust enough with the animals to be there at night. So there hasn't been a night in 40 years that these animals were untended by either me or my domestic partner. Just for starters. Like when people think they want one of these things, I get a lot of phone calls, a lot of comments on my videos about I want one, where do I get one? And I don't tell people they can't. What I tell people is volunteer at a sanctuary, come visit me, really get a clear idea of what you're undertaking, because they're not big, interesting looking domestic dogs. They are wild animals that are socialized to a few people, and their intensity and instincts are not what your dogs are. I mean, you take the most difficult dog you can imagine, just some crazed, Malinois with the intensity turned up to 11 and the knob broken off. And then you take that and multiply that by 10. And then you're dealing with this, right? Like it is just such a different thing, because they don't look at humans as the master of the domain. They look at us as maybe co-equals or just uninteresting obstacles. I've hand raised these animals, so I have a very deep connection with them. But I don't, there's no illusion. If one of them has a hold of something and I were to try to aggressively repossess it, they'll bite me. Unquestionably, they'll bite me. Oh, you did. See, they like to roll and stink, and she just did. That's the deal. They roll and stink. And I get to spray them with soap. We have a soap cleaner we use. It's enzyme, peppermints and enzymes. And of course, now she's going to put a scat mark right in the middle of the trail to let everyone know this is her domain here. She'll probably scrape too. We'll scrape out here in the deep woods. My smelly people. Both of these girls are just, so right now it's breeding season for wolves, and so their hormones are super high. I don't know if you noticed there when Sunny went to the bathroom, actually there was a tiny spot of blood. Sunny is in pre-estrus right now. Moonie's just completed her cycle. A lot of times they would cycle together where one animal would suppress the other one, but this time Moonie just went early and Sunny went late, and so it was like a tag team effort, which makes my life complex because obviously, unless I wanted the goose, which I do not, they can't be with the boys, so they can't. And everybody's sad about it because they love each other. Let's see. Uninteresting obstacles. Yeah, exactly. Yes, so both of these animals are Canis lupus occidentalis, which is the typical gray wolf subspecies. We have one animal on the property who's a slightly different subspecies, Canis lupus arctus. It's still a gray wolf, but it's just a different ecotome. Arctic wolves are white like polar bears, and our animal is a cousin of the animal actor that plays Ghost in Game of Thrones. Her name is Akutak. She's in my other videos. The most famous of her is Crazy Jealous. And that's Icknick howling. That's my big male. I can hear him from almost a mile away. And here, let me do something for you guys. Yeah, so these are gray wolves. Let me see if I can howl them up for you here. Because Icknick is howling and they might respond if I howl back. Maybe. We'll see. They're pretty distracted. I can hear a dog. We're up against a property right now. There's some dogs barking. But Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got a lot of practice. I've been howling up wolves for most of my life, and I'm old. I'm 57. God. Even when I say it, I don't believe it. Seems like just yesterday I was like 35 and thought that was old. So for those of you that want to support the channel and see some cool stuff, please subscribe. We're about to do some super fun stuff with some Mr. Beast-like clever activities with the animals I think people will really enjoy. And if you want to do more than just follow along, you could, give us supers during live streams like this. That is always appreciated. But even more important than any of that is, this just went in the lake here. It's a little stream, and they took different routes across it. Buy my book, The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs, available on Amazon. If you're a dog lover, I promise it's a great book. It talks about a lot of important stuff, including raw feeding, socializing puppies, bringing a new dog into your household, what reactivity is and how to manage it. So yes, when I get back there, what I usually do on these patrols is I take you all the way back to the property, and then you can see the other animals in the compound. We call it a habitat, but we're a little ways away from there now. I'm still probably 15 or 20 minutes from getting back there. We are heading in that direction now, but it does take a few minutes to walk back. I'm about between a third and a half mile away where I need to go. And I can't go the backside right now because we'll have spiciness on a fence line. And I don't want spiciness on a fence line. These girls are super intense right now. They're both in high hormone breeding season. This is like the peak of it right now. And so they have some intensity and aggression towards other animals, and we want to be very mindful of it. I don't like my animals getting fights with each other. Light snow and not cold enough. And it's just barely drizzling snow a tiny bit, and it's in like the, it depends if you're doing Celsius or Fahrenheit. It's about 30 degrees right now. I mean, I'm in bare hands, just short gloves, and I'm not cold at all. If you're curious about my gear, here, let me pause and answer some questions there. So my other boots are wet. So today I'm wearing, these are Kalen ice climbing boots. The color is custom because I like the green. The pants are Kuyu, and these are the Axis Hybrid with knee pads. My jacket is a Killick jacket. These gloves are a Mountain Hardwear belay glove that's made of Dyneema. I go through gloves like crazy. These have been the most durable I've ever had, but they're starting to die. I have a few more pairs. The pack I'm wearing, probably can't really see the pack, it's dark. I'm wearing what's called a Mystery Ranch Thor Jammer. It's designed for the military to carry radio gear, but it's just perfect for what I do. And the really important thing about the pack, besides that it fits, like my skin almost, it's really skeletal in the way that it sits on my body. It's got 35 pounds in it. I don't even feel it. Like, I always have this pack on when I hike with an animal. But the most important thing about the pack is that it's set up so that you can release the pack from the frame and make a space. And so if an animal got injured and I had to pack an animal out of the bush, I can actually hang the animal from a special pack I have called a Rough Rescue on the frame, even if it's a big animal. And that way I'm not like trying to cradle an animal in my arms, and it allows me to safely extricate my animals. If, for example, like a snake bite or something where I had to immobilize an animal and carry it out of the bush. And I also carry a mild sedative so that if an animal is freaking out, I can calm it down. Ouch! I just got taken out. It happens. That's how powerful they are. So Moonie got scared. She whipped around me. I was on something a little unsteady, and I went down. It's normal. That's why I wear a belt. You see that even though I lost, she's afraid of something. I don't even know what. But even though I fell, and I have full control of the animals, I'm just an anchor at the end of a cable with them. And I'm pretty resilient. I hit the ground probably at least once a week. That was not so bad because there's snow. But I can figure out why she's upset here. You can see how her tail's all tucked, like something really got her upset. And I don't know what it is. Let me get on my feet here. And yeah, she's afraid. All right, it's okay. What scared you? So this is part of the sort of the skill set that you have to have when you're working with these animals. Is like Sunny is just completely unconcerned. Whatever it was didn't bother Sunny a bit. But you can see how Moonie's whole disposition is like low. See how she's all crouched? And so even though Sunny doesn't care, I've got to pay attention what's up with Moonie. Come on, Moonie. Sunny, come on. Sunny's a little bit more sociable and resilient. Moonie's a little more wild in her behavior and thinking. But yeah, this is why we are set up the way we are with the gear that we use, so that even, I mean, a regular person walking a dog, that dog's loose. You got this animal on a leash in your hand, even a robust line, and that happens, you're not holding on. And then you've got to, it didn't hurt. I'm used to it. Yes, I can pet them. Well, I can. I mean, they're snuggly with me. Sunny will come up to unfamiliar people. Nunaryak will come up to unfamiliar people. Kutak, my old lady, Princess Bitchy Pants, will come up to some people. And Iknik and Moonie will not come up to anybody they don't know. It takes a very long time to get in their tiny club. Like there's Moonie, I think, besides me and my wife, I think maybe one or two other people have ever been able to like pet Moonie. She's just really timid, really very wild animal. She's, of all my current animals, she's the one who acts the most like a truly wild animal. She's just very, very timid, very intense. Hey, Sophia. Welcome, folks. People move in and out of these live streams so quick. So I don't know if you guys have got my little intro. Oliver the wolf guy. Yes, I know my headlamp is terrible. People always say that, but it's the best I can do. I'm out here in the dark. All right, I'm gonna try to get, hey, come on, Moonie, we're gonna go this way. She's still a bit freaked out about something. I gotta be really careful. I don't wanna go down on concrete. It's one thing on snow. Come on, we're gonna go over here. Sunny, come on. Sunny is super responsive to my nice requests. Of my animals, and somebody earlier asked about are they trainable. Yeah, they'll learn anything, but will they comply? And Sunny is probably my most interested to work with me. Like if I was gonna, do movie or film work, which we'll work with people, but it's mostly like for wild type B-roll. But if somebody needed something very specific, Sunny'd be the animal I would choose, just because she's more sociable and motivated to do that kind of stuff. Like she'll hit a mark, she'll show teeth, she'll do a couple of those kind of things. Thank you, Joel. Really appreciate it. Yes, I will show you the other wolves if you hang out here for a little bit. All right, come on, let's go. Yeah, you can't live the lifestyle I live and not be in pretty good condition. And I don't believe that you should have these animals if you're not physically capable of doing this kind of thing, right? I think that, if all they can do is spend their whole life, even in a super nice habitat, an acre or two habitat, like even then it's like a little bit like blackfish, an orca in a bathtub. Because in the wild, these guys have very large natural habitats that they maintain, right? 70 to 1,000 square miles. And so without doing this, you're really confining them to, they're an inmate. And I don't want to have inmates. I've invested my whole life and every ounce of my energy in making sure that the animals in my program are not inmates. And that I do everything I can to give them an interesting, enriched, useful life. And to me, probably the most important indicator that I've done good work is that my animals never try to escape. They're not trying to dig under my habitat perimeter fences. They're not trying to climb over them. If they get scared, they want to come back into the habitat, like on a hike or something. And to me, that means I've created an environment that is home to them. It's an appropriate home for them, and they're happy there. And a lot of my daily thinking is what I can do to make them happy. And I believe I'm successful. Like compared to most captive wolves that I see, even at AZA accredited facilities, I think my animals are the happiest. Just because I run my own show, and this gives me the opportunity to make my own decisions and do a lot with the animals, whereas I'm not reporting to, some corporation that has a bunch of criteria that's intended for risk avoidance first and not animal happiness first. And just so people are curious, like we have insurance, health insurance on the animals, insurance on the facility. I'm OSHA 100, which is a crazy cert. I'm not sure what the percentage of people on earth that has an OSHA 100 is, but it's pretty small. Like everywhere I go, I see OSHA violations. And I mean, what I do is arguably a little dangerous, but we try to control the risk. And now you can hear my animals really howling. All right, let's pause. You guys are on the wrong side of me here. All right, you stinky people. You guys probably hear the other wolves. And I'm really getting pulled. Like, you can't believe how hard they pull. Like, I'm leaning back into the belt here. The belt I wear is like a weightlifting belt that's been modified a lot. So I can like lean back into it. And even so, they're just like pulling me forward with every step. And of course, they always pull worse on downhills. Thank you so much, Joel. So, I mean, I believe that we need healthy ecosystems, and we're in the middle of a sixth extinction. And the decisions being made today are going to affect our children and their children and hopefully their children's children. But the planet is in crisis. Predators are important to keeping the balance of these ecosystems intact. And the more people know about how amazing these animals are, the better the prospects for people to give a darn. And so my mission is to help them give a darn, to get people like Joe Rogan to see the reality of these animals and embrace their value, both their intrinsic value to themselves. They see their boyfriends now. This is the behavior. And I heard a little yelp, and I believe that's because we have, to keep the males and females apart, we have electrified grizzly fencing separating the fence lines. And I think somebody might have just tagged the grizzly fence. But this is our property corner here. You'll see we have signs that say do not approach the fence without explicit permission of property owner. And they're both looking at their boyfriends, and I could hear the boyfriends squeaking. They're going eep, eep, eep. And yeah, we're about to roll back here into our gate. Oh, you're stuck, Sunny. There. All right. So guys, you're gonna have to bear with me for a sec here. To do this safely, I put the phone, which I've been holding, in a little holster on my pack. So hang out while I do that. Hopefully I didn't hit any weird button. And I'm gonna try to get them into so we use these double gate entries so that when I open one gate, we're not exposing the habitat, and you'll see they wanna go in. Like this is proof positive of what I said, right? Like they're out, and what they want is to go back in just because they're secure. And so now we're in our airlock, and there's going to be a bunch of excitement here while I unleash, and then come here, you. of course, let's see if I can't improve the situation with her. Come here. Try to get a little of the gross that she rolled in off of her neck. You can maybe, that smell very nice. So we use double collars with metal buckles. You can see me undoing the, she has, and one of the collars has one of those FI trackers. If you guys are interested in those, I highly recommend them. I've worked with a company to improve the product. Whew, you stink. Yeah, she rolled in poop and it's just disgusting. That's a normal behavior. Something you just got to put up with. It ain't fun to put up with it, but later on I will come outside and I'll spray her with a minty enzyme spray that'll break that down a bit. And they like the smell of the enzyme spray. They like that. They'll roll in it. So I'll be able to reduce a little bit that level of disgusting. Won't be perfect, but it's better than it is right now, which is disgusting. All right. And, all right, now they're both released, and I'm gonna let them into there. So the habitat is bisected right now. The girls are in one section and the boys, and my older female and my Malamute puppy that these girls are trying to eat right now are in the other. And so they're not gonna mix, but I will go and get greeted by the boys. And then you can see sort of the size difference because the boys are way bigger. They're way bigger. Right, you gross, stinky girls. My stinky furry people. All right. And they want to go see the boys is what they want. But, and you can hear everybody squeaking here. And we have a visual barrier here right now because that reduces their animosity on the fence line. Nope. Moonie, nope. Moonie really wants to get in with the boys here, but it's not happening. All right, so then there's a secondary airlock here you see and that's Noonie. He has very strange vocalizations. And I'm gonna have to, that's everybody here very excited as I move into the rear habitat, which is much larger. And of course I have this Caribbean the wrong way. So what I don't want is for Noonie to come in here. There we go. Let me just clip this. They can open gates. That's why I'm going to. Oh, Noonie, hi. My God. All right. Hopefully this is still working. See here. Is up with my camera here. I'll flip that around and flip it back. There we go. All right. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you guys. So here we go. I promised you'd see the other animals. This here is Icknick. What is this thing? Hey, there we go. This is Nunaria. Yeah, it's stinky. I know. It's because I had to unleash him when they're stinky. So Noonie is 10 months old. He weighs about 130 pounds already, and he's going to be absolutely massive. Oh, God, he's heavy. So, oh, God, he wants to be up in my face, and he's really rough. Okay, ouch. Get down. He just put his paw on my glasses. I only have vision in one eye now because there's a giant wet footprint. So here a Kutak. Kiwi! So that's our Arctic animal. That's the cousin. And fun fact, she runs the show. She's the actual boss animal because in wolf natural the dynamic, that's her. And so even though she's much smaller, she's half the size of Icknick and Noonie. Even so, she's still unquestionably the boss. And Noonie here is he's the one that everyone's calling Moon because he's just ridiculous. He'll eat the shoe right off my foot, the pack right off my back. He's just big and funny and naughty. And you can see the size. So a Kutak is about 80 pounds. And you could just see how much more massive Noonie is. And just for a quick comparison here, I'll give you a quick comparison. So this is my Malamute Nepenthe. Come on. And Nepenthe weighs 80 pounds. So, I mean, when you see her next to these other animals, what you'll see is that she looks like a Shiba Inu in comparison. Hi, sweetie. What are you doing? Icknick, come here so people can see you guys side by side. So here's the comparison. This just gives you an idea of the size of these animals. Is that Nepenthe is like the size of a golden retriever or a German shepherd, and I am part of the family group. That's what I work hard to achieve, is to be seen as a member of the family. I'm like the breeding male. Everyone defers to me a little bit. I never enforce dominance through aggression. I'm just nice, lead by example, and I have treats. We do a lot of positive reinforcement. Oh my God, we got a little issue. My wife had the door open. I didn't realize it. Nick, no. You got to grab some treats. We have wolves in the house. Chaos is ensuing. Get treats. I have spikes on. I can't come in there without ruining everything. Just throw food out the door here. Hey, come on. I didn't realize she had the door open. Come on. Just throw it out the door. Throw it out the door. There you go. Those two could stay inside. All right. You guys got to see the kind of thing that's a challenge when you live inside the habitat, is having somebody get in a... You want to go take that somewhere? Here. So we gave him we call him peeper bones. It's a bully stick. We call it a peeper bone. And he has to go off into the dark and chew that up. Have fun. So, a little chaos. That's kind of par for the course here. Like I said, it's very challenging to live inside your habitat. And I was unaware that she did. So I'll show you what's going on here. We have a kennel built onto the house. And this is like, if we have an animal that needs a medical fear of like trees blowing down or something crazy. Our trees are perfect. We have an extreme weather event. We want to secure the animals for, although you never know. The Pente is in season right now too, so we can't with the boys either. Come on. And stick. Everyone else is people breed. Hi, cute. So we got some high intensity play happening. I can kind of get a lay of the land here. We have a very modest home, an amazing, super valuable piece of land. We've had this land for a long time. We'd never be able to buy this land now. Prices up here have gone completely ridiculous. And now you got wolves running around the dark. Do I have the vet come out? Actually, we can take local. So our coyotes are not that big. I really love coyotes. They're just, as far as I'm concerned, they're micro wolves. And our guys don't care about at all. They're just not. Oh, nickname Peeper Bone. And nobody's going to get that back from him. He wants to keep it. There's no chance of it. And Kiwi wants to go see her daughters, the Sun and Moon. But they were a little rough on her the other day, and I want to be sure that she doesn't get injured since she's 14. Oh, we got a little conflict happening up here in the dark with all the eye shine. As you can see, we have this very large habitat, so they could disappear out of sight and rip around and not have to come up short for a fence. Boom. Oh, God. You are the worst. Oh, sorry. I see what happened. I have really big hands. They're just gigantic. They're like double XL. And when I'm handling a phone, I occasionally will accidentally hit the mute button and be unaware of it. This is Kiwi. Kiwi is my spiciest animal by far. We call her Princess Bitchy Pants, and you can see she's right between my legs right now because she wants a little love. Huh, Kiwi, come here. Let me see the face part of you. Can I see the face? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. That's the face. And what she wants to do is lick my teeth. It's how they greet each other as family. And it's sort of like, what have you been eating? What have you been doing? Now I know. No, I know. I licked your teeth. And if you don't give them your face and your teeth, they'll jump up on you to get it. That's what Noonie was doing. Yeah, Noonie likes the body slam for sure. He's rude. He's super rude. The girls are really intense like that too. Iknik is super polite. Nepenthe is a little unruly because she was raised by wolves. She's the world's only Malamute raised by wolves. And for those of you that are into children's books, I'm working on a children's book. The Little Malamute Raised by Wolves. It's a pro-wolf, anti-bullying story starring Nepenthe and her real wolf family. Oh my goodness, you're just so fierce. You're just so spicy and fierce. Everyone's afraid of you because you're the Malamute. Hi, Noonie. So yeah, this is sort of a little bit of a vignette of my, oh my God, you're just ridiculous. You're ridiculous. He's just huge and he's gonna grow. He is gonna grow for another 2 years to be full size. Like he's probably about 85 to 90% of his long bone growth now. Nepenthe, come here, come on. And there you got a little bit of intensity happening. Nepenthe, come here. Little conflict. As the puppy tries to solicit the, right? Puppy's being rude. So these are kind of normal behaviors. So he was having fun with being chased, but now he's getting a little tired of it. And what I'm going to try to do here actually is I'm going to try to recruit Noonie to come get his own. Say, Noonie's being playful, but Iknik is no longer really playing. See, he's like kind of serious. Noonie is just soliciting him. And so, and because we like to be very cautious about things, I'm going to, Noonie, come on, come get a different treat. I'm going to see if I can recruit Noonie to get a different treat. Now, get him away from Iknik, hopefully. We'll do that here. Super treacherous and icy out here right now. I'm wearing shoe spikes, which is why I couldn't just run in my home and I'll put holes in the floor. You come inside. Let me see if I can't get... There's Noonie. All right, that worked out perfect. So now I got Noonie on the secure kennel deck here. Oh no, now you can't go bug Iknik. Oh dear. All right. So I am going to wrap this sucker up here, you guys. It's been fun. I just turned off my headlamp so you guys can get a quick look at the curmudgeon, the dude behind the camera. Hey everybody, I'm Oliver the Wolf Guy, mountain man and dude who spends way too much of his time in the woods of wolves. And we're just going to wrap this live stream up. Thank you guys very much. Yeah, we call them peeper bones because it's funny and it's true. Yes, Noonie is the youngest. Nunaryak is about 10 months old. And again, here's the size difference is that the dog is 80 pounds and Noonie makes her look small. So, hi. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up. Again, thank you very much for hanging out with me for an hour while we took the animals out. Noonie, do not eat the leashes. Oh, God. He's a really, really rough kisser. Like, he smashes his teeth into my teeth, and his teeth are way harder. If I have a chipped tooth, it's going to be from him. I try hard not to let that happen, but... So if you want to support us, The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs on Amazon. OliverTheWolfGuy.com for merch. Tahoe Wolf Center. Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much. Noonie, come here. Noonie, come here. Come here. Dan, did you get the pictures? So one of the perks that our subscribers get is I create a Dropbox for you, and I will send you high res images of the animals you want. And that's kind of you just send me a request and I'll handle it. Awesome. He did. That's awesome. Okay. So he likes Noonie. He's got pictures of Noonie from tiny Noonie all the way up to Noonie current. Noonie, come here. Noonie. Noonie. Come here. This is from Dan. This is from Dan. Your fan. Dan is your big fan. We call this guy Noonie No Fucks because when they were handing out fucks to give, he didn't even get in line. He is kind of this crazy, fearless, roughshod beast. Huh, Noonie? That's all from Dan. Here, butt scratch from Dan. Oh, it's a butt scratch. Oh, that feel good. He's just standing right there. It feels so good. Oh, that feels so good. That's from your buddy Dan. There you go. Awesome. Glad to hear that. I'm always happy to send you more. Just shoot me a message. You've got my email now, so you can. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad. Yeah, really. And by the way, I have another thing I want to send you. So email me your mailing address where you would like to get a little package, and I'm going to send you a little present. That's another thing we do for our paying subscribers on the channel, besides the Dropbox with the custom photos, is I'm going to send you a little present. And it's small but cute and fun. And so far, the people that have received it have really liked it. So those are some things you can do to support us. You can join the channel. You can buy my book. You can buy our fun merch at oliverthewolfguy.com, and you can support the nonprofit directly at TahoeWolfCenter.org. And so with that, I'm going to say goodnight. I got to feed a bunch of animals, get my wet clothes off.